Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into something really interesting? We're talking CBD and sleep today. We've got two video scripts to unpack, one all about the science of sleep, and the other diving into CBD and the endocannabinoid system. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to uncover some answers.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of curiosity around CBD these days. It seems like everyone's talking about it, but I think people are most interested in how it actually works in our bodies, especially when it comes to sleep.
Absolutely. So many questions. Let's start with the sleep stuff first. One thing that really jumped out at me from that first video script was just how much is happening while we sleep. It's not just like our brain switches off, right?
It's definitely not off.
Yeah.
It actually goes through these distinct stages like it's on a journey. You've got stage 1 and 2, those lighter phases where you're kind of drifting off, and then bam, you transition into deep sleep. That's stage 3, and that's where things get super interesting.
That's the one with the delta waves, right? The script mentioned that, and I was like, delta waves? Okay, tell me more.
Exactly. It's called delta wave sleep because your brain activity actually slows way down into these, slow rhythmic waves. It's like your brain is hitting the reset button for your body and mind.
It's like a deep clean for your system. I get why that's so important now.
It's absolutely crucial, yeah. Deep sleep is when your muscles repair, your cells regenerate, your immune system gets a boost. It's like a nightly tune-up.
I love that analogy, nightly maintenance routine. It really makes you realize that skipping sleep, it's not just about feeling tired the next day, it's messing with your system. And speaking of which, that video script did not hold back on the downsides of not getting enough sleep.
Yeah, it's serious business. Chronic sleep loss. It's not something to mess around with. And it goes way beyond just feeling foggy-headed, though we've all been there, right?
Oh, tell me about it. But we're talking about some serious health risks down the line. Higher risk of obesity, heart disease, even a weakened immune system, which, let's be real, who couldn't use a stronger immune system these days?
It's so true. It's really important. Taking care of your sleep, it's just as important for your well-being as what you eat and how much you exercise.
Yeah.
But then that begs the question, what do you do when sleep feels impossible? That's where understanding CBD and this whole endocannabinoid system thing comes in, right?
It really makes you think twice about those late nights, huh?
No kidding.
So we've got to talk about this whole endocannabinoid system thing.
The ECS. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It's one of those things I've heard of, but I'll be honest, I don't totally get it.
Well, it is relatively new to science, all things considered. Think early 1990s when it was discovered. So we're still learning a lot.
Okay, that makes me feel better, like I'm not that far behind. So big picture, what is the ECS?
You know how our bodies are always trying to find balance, like with temperature or hunger? The ECS is kind of like that, but for a whole bunch of different functions. It uses these molecules called endocannabinoids to keep things running smoothly.
Endocannabinoid sounds intense.
They're actually pretty cool. They interact with these specific receptors throughout your body.
Receptors like docking stations?
Exactly.
I'm picturing little spaceships now.
Well, maybe not spaceships, but they're like little docking stations where the endocannabinoids lock in and do their thing.
Yeah.
And there are two main types of receptors, CB1 and CB2.
I've heard of those. Vaguely.
CB1, those are mostly found in your brain. And CB2 receptors, those hang out more in your immune system. They're actually both throughout your body, but those are their main hubs.
Okay, so that's how our bodies naturally regulate all these functions, using the ECS. But where does CBD actually fit into all of this? Isn't it different from THC, the stuff in cannabis that gets you high?
Yeah, that's a really important distinction to make. THC, it fits right into those CB1 receptors in your brain, like a key in a lock. CBD, though, it doesn't directly activate those receptors in the same way.
Oh, so it's not like a perfect fit.
Exactly. Instead of taking over, it's more like CBD is working behind the scenes. Scientists think it might actually prevent the breakdown of your naturally produced endocannabinoids.
So it's like it's giving your body's own system a boost.
That's a great way to put it.
Instead of introducing something foreign, it's working with what's already there.
And if you remember, we talked about how stress can really mess with your sleep.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, CBD might actually help manage your stress response by influencing the ECS.
Is that where cortisol comes in? I know that's the stress hormone, right?
You got it. The video script mentioned that CBD could potentially help keep cortisol in check.
Okay, so less stress, calmer body, better sleep. It's all starting to connect. But did the video actually explain how WCBD might improve sleep itself? Like on a deeper level. It did mention a couple of things that caught my attention.
Okay, I'm listening.
First off, it said CBD might actually make it easier to fall asleep in the first place, which, I mean, that's a big one for a lot of people, right?
Huge. So many of us struggle with that.
Totally, but how? Yeah. How would it do that?
Well, the script talked about how CBD might ease anxiety and just generally help you relax. When you're less anxious, it's easier to quiet those racing thoughts that can keep you up at night.
Oh, you mean like when you just can't shut your brain off?
Exactly. That constant replay of the day's events or worrying about tomorrow.
The worst. I've totally been there.
CBD might help calm that inner chatter, just ease you into a more relaxed state.
Okay, that makes sense. What about that second thing? How else might it help?
Right, so it's not just about getting to sleep, it's about regulating your sleep patterns over time. And CBD might actually help with that too.
Really? How so?
Well, it seems like CBD could play a role in balancing certain neurotransmitters in your brain, specifically the ones that are involved in your sleep-wake cycle.
So it's like resetting your internal clock, getting those rhythms back on track.
Exactly. And one of the neurotransmitters that CBD might influence is called anandamide.
An anandamide. Okay, that one's new to me.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. It's often called the bliss molecule because it's involved in regulating mood, sleep, and even how you perceive pain.
Wow, okay, bliss molecule, I'm intrigued. So how does CBD affect this anandamide?
Well, anandamide is actually an endocannabinoid itself. Remember those?
Right, our body's own balancing system.
Exactly. And since CBD may prevent those endocannabinoids from being broken down so quickly, it could be indirectly boosting the effects of anandamide.
So it's like CBD is amplifying our own natural bliss signal.
You got it. At least that's one theory.
Wow, it's incredible how much is happening at that molecular level.
Right. And to think, we're just scratching the surface of understanding all of this.
That's the thing that always gets me. There's so much more to learn. It makes you really appreciate the complexity of our bodies and how everything's connected.
Absolutely. And that's why this research is so exciting.
It's like a whole new frontier.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like I learned a ton today.
Me too. It's amazing how much there is to discover about sleep and how CBD might play a role.
It's definitely given me a lot to think about. And listeners, we want to hear from you. What questions do you have about CBD and sleep? What are you most curious about? Keep those questions in mind as you navigate this exciting and ever-evolving field. Until next time, sleep well, everyone.